Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the XFFL Show. I'm your host, Josh Mitchell, the commissioner of the XFFL, and the head coach, the captain, and the owner of the New England Nexus. We're well past halfway through the season, and there's been a lot of surprises, good and bad, but most of the teams so far, with the exception of the North Carolina Copperbaggers and Zach Phillips, have kind of stayed in the middle range of the playoff push. The 2 seed can easily fall down to the bottom can easily fall to the top. It's pretty much anyone's playoff push for these teams too. So that means wins are very important. And that means wins for week 10 or losses for week 10 are very pivotal. If you lose, it's not that much of a heartache, but it could lead towards much, much worse things. A win, it's a good thing. But again, you're going to need a few more to make the playoffs. Speaking of teams, though, who didn't get a win, that'd be me in the New England Nexus. Let's get right to it. We, the Nexus, fall to the Cleveland Clowns 123.10 to 92 on the dot. Let's talk about Tom's team. Carson Wentz, 7 points. Not good. Devontae Freeman and Kenyon Drake, 8.8 and 5.1 points. Not good. But everyone else, really good. Tyreek Hill, 27.5 points. Yikes, really good. Hunter Henry, who I had for previous weeks, did phenomenal. 4 catches and 2 touchdowns on the day, so 19.7 points. Deebo Samuel, 30 points. Wow. On the other side of things, Justin Herbert, 13. What the heck, man? Not going to cut it. Mike Evans, 14.2 points. It's okay. Terry McLaurin, 11.9. Not doing it. Leonard Fournette, 17.2, pretty much the only guy that got even pretty close to his projection. Dallas Goedert, 4.8. He got hurt. Aaron Jones, 12.6. He got hurt. And A.J. Brown, what the heck, man? 3.3 points. 1 reception, 16 yards, and 7 rushing yards. I don't know what to say anymore. He's either really, really dominant or he just flat out stinks. It's unfortunate, but we must move on to the next game. In the next game, speaking of the number 1 seed, North Carolina Carpetbaggers barely, I don't say barely, but defeated the Riverhead Blue Waves 110.48 to 102.34. Aaron Rodgers, not so good, 11.48 points. The game in general, Seahawks versus Green Bay, not good. Chris Godwin, 12.7. It's all right. Najee Harris, 17.3. Guy I didn't realize you can tie in a game. What is this? Donovan McNabb, 17.3 points. Austin Eckler, 14.9. Noah Fant, 10.9. But the real star of this team, Dallas Cowboys defense, Dan Quinn, baby, 23 points on the day. Yeah, incredible. Other side of things, Russell Wilson making his return. Yikes, 7.64 points. Not going to cut it. Devontae Adams, 14. That's okay. Dalvin Cook, 20.8. Pretty good. Keenan Allen, 17.8. Everyone else did nothing. Is what it is, but a very close matchup for a team that's in first place and a team that's in last place. Maybe it's a sign of things to come. Who knows? On to our next matchup. The Big Ben Blackbeards take down the Charlotte Outlaws, 121.40 to 100.64. Tail of the tape, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, Ezekiel 26, 28, 20. Incredible. There's 70 points right there. Travis Kelce, almost 20 points on the day. Everyone else didn't really hit the mark, but again, didn't matter. 3 Cowboys, the Cowboy trio, did a fantastic job. On the other side, Josh Allen, 21.94. Pretty good. Cooper Kupp, 23.2. Also pretty good. Tony and Gibson, they kind of lowered his projection totals. I don't understand what's going on with that. But he proved everybody wrong, 21.8 points. Everyone else, not so good. Mike Gesicki was targeted a lot. Seeing here, targeted 7 times, 0 catches, 0 yards, 0 points. Jarvis Landry is just not doing it this year. Josh Jacobs had a bad game. Again, could have swung the other way if maybe one of those got 15, 20 points, but as you can see, the Cowboy connection is pretty darn good. Our next matchup, it was the matchup of something's got to give. Who will end their winning streak? And I'll tell you, it ain't the Malone Mutiny. Chris Piccaro, coming from the depths of hell or Malone, and winning his matchup 139.42 to 98.2 against the New York Potato Skins. Looking at this, Devontae Smith, 22.6 points. That's really good. Christian McCaffrey, newly acquired a couple weeks back, 26 points in the day. The real MVP, Ramondre Stevenson. It's about damn time Bill Belichick puts him in, starts him, no questions asked. 100 rushing yards on the day and 2 touchdowns. Him, Damian Harris are going to be a very lethal duo for New England for many years to come. On the other side of things, Tom Brady threw up a duck, 15 points on the day and 2 picks. Deontay Johnson didn't do so well. Jonathan Taylor did very well, 24.6 points on the day. Hawkinson, whatever you want to call him, 0 points. Another tight end with 0. Darrell Henderson, only 8. Again, a couple of those guys shipped. Looking at a different game, but definitely waiver wire pickup winner. Ding, ding, ding. Chris Piccaro, the Malone Mutiny for Ramondre Stevenson. That might be, I don't think anything will top that, or if it has, let me know. If you remember a waiver wire pickup from this year in the XFFL who beat 27.4 points. In our final game, we hyped this up from last week. William Jackson in the third revenge game. And I don't know if it's because I put the word revenge in it or not, but boy, oh boy, the revenge won this one. Final score, 150.14 to 93.92. Oh boy, I'm going to have to eat my words. Patrick Mahomes, 3 previous weeks before this, 8, 15, and 10. This week, 36.24. Welcome back, Patrick Mahomes. Stephon Diggs, 30 points. Justin Jefferson, almost 23 points. And Dearness Johnson, pretty much a random filler starter. If he starts, he does pretty well. 22.7 points. Let's look on the other side of things, shall we? For Derek in the Alpine Extreme, Lamar didn't have it. That game was just a complete, just utter disgrace of a game. 16.42 points. Adam Thielen, 11. Donovan, the People's Champion, Jones, 2.6 points. They ain't the People's Champion no more. Mark Andrews, 18. Michael Carter, 18. Shout out to the New York Jets. Still losing. Michael Carter, good for you. Hope you bring great success to the Jets' future. Probably not going to happen. But anyway, it's back-to-back wins for this individual. It's back-to-back times he'll be on the show. I give to you none other than Scott Sheehan of the Rochester Revenge. Scott, welcome back to the show. It feels like last week you were here.
It's Groundhog Day. It's Freaky Friday. I'm back. I'm ready.
Welcome back. Let's kind of dive into this. 150 points against the Alpine Extreme and Derek. Talk about the win overall. Obviously, Jefferson, Diggs, Mahomes, Dearness Johnson, just everybody did pretty much fantastic, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that my strategy of running backs don't really matter in fantasy is really starting to pay off. I think, just plug and play, hope that you hit the waiver wire, as Chris also showed this past week. And, I guess, when it comes to consistency, you've got very consistent wide receivers that get fed like Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson typically do. It's hard to beat somebody. So Mahomes is back, 5 touchdowns. His brother was not there, which I blamed his brother last week. And Jackson Mahomes, stay away.
So I guess do you see this just as a flash in the pan, or is this like welcome back. You're good. You can stay, and I don't have to worry again.
I think that the Raiders are a middle of the road team. So I think that as long as the Chiefs are playing one of those bottom tier or middle of the road types of teams, I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to continue to produce. I think that also what you can't really overlook is that offensive line. They do have, is it 2 rookies that they have on their?
It's at least one, yeah.
Yeah, at least one. I think that, and also Joe Tooney going over from the Pats. It takes time for an offensive line to gel, and I think that, a little bit more time for Mahomes. You play the Raiders, good things will happen. So, I think that Mahomes looking forward. So he's got Dallas on Sunday. Very good defense, but Diggs did get burnt a couple of weeks ago. This past week, Dallas looked very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see how all that plays out. I think that probably the biggest weakness for Dallas would probably be who's going to cover Travis Kelce, which is like most teams in this league, who's going to cover Travis Kelce.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that Mahomes should have a pretty solid week ahead.
Now, I guess moving forward, back-to-back wins. I believe you're in 5th place now. Do you see yourself moving up the ladder and like contending for first, or is this your just goal is to get into the playoffs?
I think it's just getting into the dance. I think, as long 6 through 1, don't really care where I'm at. We're still going for the championship. I'll be the 2000 and is it 11 or 12? Yeah, I'll be those Giants teams that came out of nowhere to win the championship, which I hate so much. I don't care if I'm them. I don't care if I'm the Steelers when they were the 6th seed and went to the Super Bowl and won.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, I've got a good team. I think that my trade with the Malone Mutiny to get James Robinson really solidifies my depth at running back. And yeah, I think that as long as Patrick Mahomes continues to play like Patrick Mahomes, it's going to be hard to take me down.
Now, you just mentioned him. You're playing against the Mutiny. Hot streak. Hot streak. 4 in a row. As we always say, I'm going to give you the floor. I know you're good friends with Chris, but if you want to play the bad guy,
Chris, I've known you since we were young, so don't take this loss personally. But I'm going to wipe the floor with you this week in fantasy. No holds barred. I am currently looking through the waiver wire to try to pick up a defense just that you don't pick up a good defense when you're playing me because I just want to win. Like Al Davis said for the Oakland Raiders back in the day, just win, baby. So no offense, Chris. I'm going for your throat, going for blood. You're done. I hope that you make the playoffs, though, because I think it'd be very interesting to have that matchup. And, a lot of people were doubting you. I didn't think that you'd finish last in the league. I, for the record, picked Derek to finish last. And based on last week's performance, I mean, who's to say? Who knows? And I think that we can all just kind of take solace in this league knowing that regardless of what happens for the rest of the season, the Riverhead Blue Waves, well, they've been rolled over. So roll over, Waves. That's all I have for this week. Chris, if you do beat me, at least the better man won.
All right. Well, again, thank you, Scott, for stopping by the show. Said some nice and sort of not nice things to Mr. Chris Picaro, and then definitely not nice things to Derek and Anthony. But that's part of the game. He's playing the bad guy. Remember that. But a quick reminder for everybody, November 20th, trade deadline for the XFFL. There have been trades already made this year, a lot by the Malone Mutiny. But I've kind of jumped on in and made some trades as well. Kind of some big ones. As I said, the team's kind of open for anybody who wants some players because we're looking towards next year just due to injuries or just matchups in general. And doesn't help that the past 2 weeks I've scored under 95 points. So here's 2 of the trades that happened today. Well, I shouldn't say today. I should say yesterday, on Tuesday. And those were, of course, Aaron Jones, Mike Evans, and a 9th round pick and a 10th round pick going to the Alpine Extreme for a 2nd round pick and a 4th round pick. On top of that, late in the evening, made a trade with North Carolina Carpetbaggers. I will be receiving J.K. Dobbins and a 4th round pick for Uncle Lenny, Leonard Fournette, and a 7th round pick. So, again, trades are open. Again, November 20th. No questions asked. That's when it's done. Get them in by then, and we'll see who will be crowned XFFL champion in just a matter of 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 7, 8 weeks. Crazy, it's going by that fast. But you gotta get there first. Week 11 on the books for this week. 4 games left in the regular season. So let's get right to it. And unfortunately, let's start with me. Yes, me, New England Nexus, taking on the Big Ben Blackbeards and that Cowboy trio, going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Looks like a spicy matchup if I do say so myself. Chief secondary, not that good, besides Tyrann Mathieu, but sometimes they use them in blitz packages, so it kind of leaves over the top. We've seen Tyrann Mathieu get mad at Daniel Sorensen many, many times. Other things to note, DK Metcalf versus Arizona. Let's see. And then Travis Kelce versus Cowboys. So a lot of players being involved in that Cowboys versus Chiefs matchup. As a Cowboys fan, that is Jeff. On my side of things, Justin Herbert versus Pittsburgh, no clue what Justin Herbert's going to do anymore. Basically, flip a coin. He's either going to go well over projected or not hit projection. Terry McLaurin versus Carolina. Okay, I can see something there, but Carolina's kind of been stepping up. A.J. Brown versus Houston. If this isn't a monster game, I don't know when he'll get another one. Yeah. I got Cole Beasley versus the Colts. Cole Beasley's kind of a sneaky play here. He gets a lot of targets. He's a slot guy. Everyone's looking at Stephon Diggs, kind of Dawson Knox too. And it also is being used as a kind of hybrid running back or just a guy that's catching balls or screens, I should say, 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, just getting like 8-10 yards. I don't know. Clearly, I am picking Skipper in the Big Ben Blackbeards. I'm, again, as they say, selling the farm. But on top of that, I can't match up with the Cowboy trio. Moving on to our next matchup. The Alpine Extreme taking on the North Carolina Carpetbaggers. As you would assume, Mike Evans is now starting for the Alpine Extreme. So teaming up with Adam Thielen, who's going against Green Bay, Michael Carter against Miami, Lamar, and Mark Andrews versus Chicago. Should note Mike Evans versus the Giants. Again, it should be a really good matchup. But as we learned from last week, Tom Brady is not that consistent. On the other side of things, Aaron Rodgers versus Minnesota. Najee Harris versus the Chargers. Jamar Chase versus Raiders. It's kind of a coin flip too. And then Chris Godwin versus the Giants. So 2 Buccaneers wide receivers going up against each other. Love to see it. I'm picking the Carpetbaggers. I don't like, again, the running back situation that's kind of happening for the Alpine Extreme. Aaron Jones will not be playing this week, possibly not next week, and then he has the bye. So I'm assuming he's going to be out for 3 weeks. Maybe he proves me wrong. Regardless, he ain't playing this week. And I believe, unless something changes, A.J. Dillon will be the starter for the North Carolina Carpetbaggers. I like that. I like that a lot. Picking Carpetbaggers in this one. On to our next matchup, Cleveland Clowns versus the Riverhead Blue Waves. Waves in 10th place. Just for some reason, I don't know. They're not hitting. Even when they had Derrick Henry, they weren't really hitting. So he's got Tannehill slotted versus Houston, which is the smart play. Russell Wilson's going against a very good Arizona defense, so that makes sense. Cooper versus KC, Devontae Adams versus Minnesota. Kind of a toss-up for both of those. Cook versus Green Bay. Yeah, kind of toss-ups here. They should do well, but as we've seen with this team and just in general with them in fantasy, good days, bad days, really bad days, and really good days. Typical, huh? On the other side of things, Tyreek Hill versus Dallas. Can't guard Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. You can't double team them. So one of them will be open. Debo is questionable at the moment versus Jacksonville, but if he plays, gonna get points. Slide it in, David Montgomery versus Baltimore Ravens. That should be okay. And then it's kind of the matter of, will Kyler Murray play? I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm going to... Yeah. You know what? No, I can't. I can't. I'm going to pick Cleveland Clowns. No. I see a lot of contingency, who's starting, whatnot. Again, until they prove me otherwise, I'll go with Cleveland Clowns. River Blue Waves, I want to pick you just based off your players, but as we've seen, the players are hit and miss. On to our next matchup. The New York Potato Skins versus the Charlotte Woo Outlaws. Tom Brady versus the Giants. Love it. I would say that, but you don't know what Tom Brady is going to do. DeAndre Swift versus Cleveland. That's good. Joe Mixon versus Vegas. That should be good as well. Other side of things, Josh Allen versus the Colts. Looks nice. Antonio Gibson versus the Panthers. Okay. At Barclay Place, he'll be going against Tampa Bay. So as we saw, Gibson had a very good game against Tampa Bay. Could that be a repeat for Barkley if he plays? And Gesicki's facing off with the Jets. I can guarantee Gesicki will get more than 0 points. I'm going to go with the Potato Skins on this one. I don't think Jarvis Landry, if he ends up being the starter for the Charlotte Outlaws, is going to do enough. I want to say at the same time, though, they're facing Detroit. But I definitely see Jarvis Landry is kind of sliding down more of being a top number one guy. He's definitely a great number two. Being a number one in that offense, I don't know. And then if Nick Chubb's healthy, they're going to run the ball more. And if Kareem Hunt comes back, then they're going to give it to Kareem Hunt more. I don't know. I trust the running backs for the Potato Skins. And if Tom Brady is actually Tom Brady and not this random dude that tries to play, well, it'll be the Potato Skins. Our final matchup, the one we've been previewing, the Rochester Revenge taking on the Malone Mutiny. Tail of the tape. Patrick Mahomes versus Dallas. Kind of talked about that. That should be kind of a toss-up whether he does good or bad. But Dallas' defense proved last week pretty good. James Robinson versus San Fran. I don't really like that. Justin Jefferson versus Green Bay. That's a toss-up. Stephon Diggs versus Indy. That's a spicy matchup. The other side, Jalen Hurts versus New Orleans. I think that could be one of the games that ends up being like 45-40. So I can see a lot of points there. And from Devontae Smith too. Jalen Waddle versus the Jets. Higher than the 15 or 16 that's being projected. McCaffrey versus Washington. I can see that being higher as well. And Kittle versus Jacksonville. Higher. Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to... See, there's another one where it's kind of a toss-up for me. But I will say, he has won 4 in a row. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to pick the Mutiny. Patrick Mahomes did fantastic versus the Raiders, but this is the Cowboys, and they had a fantastic game plan. I don't know if that was just on the sole base that Dan Quinn was the coach of the Falcons and knows about the Falcons and game planned for it. I don't know. But I'm going to pick the Mutiny, and I want to say it's an upset, but it's not really an upset because they're the Mutiny, and they're on a 4-game winning streak. So, yeah. That's going to do it for this episode of the XFFL Show. Again, reminder, November 20th, this Saturday, is the trade deadline, so get your trades in. After that, no more. And enjoy the rest of your week. And again, always open for trades. Take care.